All right, what's going on? I want to go over some things concerning XRP. If you hold XRP, this is important to know. And if you are somebody who wants to own XRP, then that's something you can think about as you listen to what XRP is and the utilization of it, and how this can be a game changer for some people. All right, so I want to discuss that a little bit. Come on in and drop where you're from. I'm not going to be here long actually today, but I do want to keep you all abreast of what is happening with the XRP token. And yeah, I want to give you some updates on that. All right. So let me know in the comments, do you own any XRP, or is XRP something that you would like to own? First, I do want to say, I'm not telling you what to buy, hold, or sell. Everything that I say is for educational purposes only. I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not telling you what to invest in. You can lose everything investing in cryptocurrency. Some of it, a lot of it is speculative. I personally only like to talk about the utility coins. Yes, there are some people who make a lot of money off of meme coins. Hey, from Pittsburgh. But I personally like the utility coins. All right. So, London. All right. What's up? What's up? Pittsburgh in the house. Of course, I own XRP. I love it. Delaware, North Carolina, Maryland. What's going on? I see you guys in here. Let's see. Let me open this up. I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. All right. Yeah. So I want to just talk a little bit about what I'm looking for in XRP. There's a lot of price predictions out there, and some of them are astronomical. And you know what? Look, I hope I'm wrong. I can't tell you exactly where XRP is going. No, nobody can exactly tell you. But I'll tell you my thoughts on it. All right. Hey, Virginia, Ohio is in the house. Good afternoon. Do you all own some XRP? XRP is the most compressed. I love it more. Oh yeah. We've been in this thing for a long time. I will tell you, I am an XRP long fan. Again, everything I say is for educational purposes only. I'm not telling you what to buy, hold, or sell. But I do want to tell you, and I want you to be on the lookout for this, because these are some important things. Hey, from Toronto, that could happen potentially in the next couple of weeks, going into November. And so if you own XRP, or if you're thinking about owning XRP, these are things you might want to consider. I know for me, I've told you guys before, I'm not buying XRP right now. I'm not buying it. I do have limit orders under $2 all the way down. And the reason why is not because I wish I could have much more of it, but I already have a strong position, and I would rather take my funds and put into other utility coins that I really want to build a better position on, like Chainlink, Solana, Ondo. I like Cardano. I like, of course, Ethereum, Bitcoin. So yeah, I want to. Yes, since 2020, I got in at 50 cents. Yeah, I've been getting in it since 30 cents. I've been buying it all the way down from that point. And so I see some of you all on XRP. Love it, love it. So, but I want to help you to understand some things that we need to be looking out for. Yeah, like there's a lot of potential there. And I personally, hey, from St. Louis, I personally don't believe that XRP was technically meant for retailers in a sense. I think they were meant for big institutions. And so that's why I think at some point we could have a price put to it that's kind of explosive in a sense. And I don't think retailers are going to be able to set the price of XRP, because I don't think it was meant for us. Okie dokies. Okay. I think it was meant for the big dogs. Okay. So let me run through this, because I want to explain why I am long personally, and what could actually XRP is for institutions and XLM. Yeah. And I love XLM. I love XLM too. I have HBAR. I mean, again, I have enough position in XRP. I'm not here to throw out wild predictions to you, by the way. I'm just here to explain why I'm long on it and what is happening behind the scenes and what we could be looking for that could change the price of XRP. I do think it is a utility coin. So I am team XRP, and I've been that way for quite some time. And I don't think Ripple is trying to be another meme coin or speculative trade. They're building an infrastructure for the global financial system. Banks, institutions, and even governments are testing the adopting the adoption of what Ripple is building. Okay. And XRP is the bridge currency, I believe, that powers those cross-border transactions. And so this isn't theory anymore, guys. We're talking about real utility. Okay. That's what gets me quite excited about this. Now, seven things, and I put a extra one in there. All right. Number one, the Clarity Act, and I'll run through these real quick because I won't be here long. I just want you to understand this if you own it or if you're trying to get in, because I think we could be at one of the lowest prices that you're ever gonna. I mean, once it shoots up, I don't know how many people, like, if you're not able to get in at $2.50 or whatever, or when it even dropped and stuff, like, I don't think you're gonna want to get in when at some point when it does hit, triple digits or whatever, whenever that may be. You know what I mean? I don't think this is a matter of if, it's just when. Okay, we all know the future of XRP, and so number one, again, the Clarity Act is the first thing. All right, let me look through these comments because some of them are okay. The Clarity Act, that is the Digital Asset Market Clarity Act, and it's already passed the House, and is now sitting with the Senate. Okay, so if XRP gets approved, then XRP would officially be classified as a commodity and not a security, at least in secondary markets. Okay, so, and that's kind of big, because this means that institutions, funds, and corporations can start using and holding XRP without the legal fog that's been, covering them for the last few years. Okay, so regulatory clarity creates liquidity, and liquidity is what moves the market. And so that is the number one. Number two, all right, we all know the government shutdown means that we have not had these ETFs. There are some delays on that. All right, and so yeah, so right now, because of there's a frozen process that's happening because of the government shutdown. So, and that includes the proposals for XRP. Once the government reopens, then you can see a backlog of approvals hit all at once. And that's what I'm hoping for. And so when that happens, then we'll likely see billions in new liquidity into the market. And that's how it rolls. Okay. And so, yeah, again, do your own due diligence, look into this, but these are things that may move the price. Okay. That will move the price. Number three, Ripple's Ripple's institutional integration and the White House relationship, because there is a White House relationship happening. So, and this is kind of where things get a little interesting, because Ripple's been in direct conversation with leaders inside the U.S. government, including the White House level meetings earlier this year. And they're reportedly attending the major White House ballroom event. There's a ballroom event coming up where some of the largest corporations, Amazon, Apple, Walmart, they're all going to be there. And that tells you that this isn't just a side project anymore. Ripple is being positioned inside rooms where global infrastructure discussions are happening. Okay. And so that is another key thing. Number four, again, another huge one, rate cuts and macro liquidity. We are on the way to rate cuts. If the Fed cuts some more this year, then liquidity will return back into the system, and cheap money always chases opportunity. It's just that simple. It's historical. Okay, risk on assets like crypto start to benefit first. You always see it, and so you combine that with the Clarity Act, and you got to set up for institutional re-entry. Okay, so they want that. Yep, Zebek is retirement plan. Yep. Number five is mass adoption and digital wallet expansion. You got to think about this, because I'm watching as digital assets go mainstream. Think about Amazon, Google, Meta. They're building out their digital wallet system. And the Clarity Act, because we're going back to the Clarity Act, it would make it possible for companies like this to start integrating assets like XRP directly into their ecosystem. So think about that. All right. When you combine that kind of adoption with Ripple's institutional partnerships, it's hard to see, it's hard to see this not going crazy in the next, even several years. I mean, we're in for a surprise for anybody, I believe, that holds XRP. Again, it's not a matter of if, I believe it's a matter of when. Okay. It's just the timing. And it's not that, like, it's been held back, it's been suppressed, but think about it. Like, if all of these things, we're just waiting for these things to happen. It's just that simple. Okay. Now, number 6 is Ripple's bank charter and federal master account. And I'm just educating you on this because, hey, if you own this coin, then you do want to kind of follow this, because for some of you, you may need to start setting your, you got to have a game plan. You got to know, hey, am I holding? Am I taking profit at certain levels? Like, you really don't want to be on the back end of this, right? Because people are going to have some sell points when the price changes. And so that could mean a little volatility on the way up, perhaps. There's a lot of people who are saying that a lot of experts who've been following XRP for quite some time saying that it won't ever come back down. Again, we'll see, but you do want to have your game plan together. You do want to make sure your coin is on the exchange if you're trying to sell it. You may want to get your limit orders in. You may want to get your buy orders in, but you got to pay attention to this. So the Ripple Bank Charter and Federal Master Account, Ripple has applied for a U.S. National Bank Charter and Federal Reserve Master Account. And if that is approved, Ripple won't just be fintech anymore. Okay, they're going to be regulated, a regulated banking entity inside the U.S. system. Okay, so that's a level up in legitimacy and access. So you got to follow that as well. And then I have two more. We're on number 7, I think. And that's strategic acquisitions. Okay. And I know this is a lot of information, but I'm helping you to understand why XRP could go to the limit, the price points that it could go to. I mean, it may be unbelievable, guys, but again, I'm not here to tell you. I'll tell you what I'm hoping for as far as the price point. Let's get there first. But strategic acquisition. So G Treasury and hit and roll. Okay. I feel sorry for people I told about XRP. Man, when and that's why I'm here trying to say what I'm saying. I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm explaining to you the utility, how this is being utilized. So you take that as you want to. But Ripple has been shopping quietly. They acquired G Treasury and hit and roll. Both connect digital assets to corporate treasuries and institutional brokerages. Okay. So this is how XRP becomes a part of everyday global cash management. It's a behind the scenes infrastructure. And a lot of people just are not talking about it. Again, I really believe that XRP wasn't meant for retail. I believe it was meant for banks and institutions. And you got to think about this, because the last thing I want to say is, game plan, pull profits into USDC. Yeah, you may need to use different stable coins as well. You may want to put them on different stable coins because there's just going to be so much happening. I should have stated XRP when I had it. Ooh, 19 cents. Somebody had it at 19 cents. I'm not telling you what to buy, hold, or sell. Okay. I'm telling you what I'm doing and what's going on with my, you know what I'm saying? My game plan, but you got to have a game plan. Okay. I have a game plan where my longs, where I'm taking profit, all of that. But here's the biggest thing that makes this all work is core utility. Okay. ODL, on demand liquidity. At the heart of all this, ODL, on demand liquidity, banks and payments provide XRP as a bridge currency, okay, for cross-border payments. It's not meant, it wasn't, I believe when it was designed, it wasn't meant for like, we're going to use this to buy coffee. It is meant to move billions of dollars instantly, okay? Instantly. That's what separates it from meme coins. Don't tell people what you hold. I hold a lot of coins. I'm not telling them exactly what I hold, but I hold a lot of coins. I talk about some of the coins that I hold. What separates them, and I was saying that because it was like, don't tell people what you hold. they don't know the details. Nobody's gonna know the amount that I hold. I never say the amount that I hold. But that's what separates it from meme coins, y'all. It's real use, it's real demand, it's real value. Okay. Somebody say, I need to get some XRP. It's difficult, guys, because XRP was, even just a few weeks ago, XRP dropped down. Somebody said they got it at 50 cents, but it dropped all the way down to like $1.50. You know what I mean? And it's back up. I'm not saying that manipulation can't happen, that there can't be another crash. I was waiting on another crash in a sense. We've never had like two back-to-back black swan events. So, you know, another part of me was like, okay, maybe we'll be fine. But I'm just saying that you got to think about it like this. If XRP was created for on-demand liquidity for banks and institutions to move billions of dollars instantly, okay, then are they going to want to use a billion XRP to do that? Like, are they gonna, like, meaning that if the price is so low, oh, it's a dollar XRP. Okay, if for every dollar we need one XRP. So if I need to move $1 billion, I have to have a billion XRP. You got to think about that for a minute. I don't think XRP was ever meant to be this low. And you can't, we are not the ones that are going to price it, because it was never meant for us. It was meant for the big boys. So you can't, they're going to place the value on it. And I can tell you, I don't think they're going to want a low price utility to be able to move billions of dollars. It has to be priced high at some point in order to do what it was really created to do in the end. All right. And so it was hovering between 48 cents, 53 cents when I bought in. Supply is running out. Yeah, people are taking them off. And then people, like, there are people like buying in, like there's already $1 billion. I think one guy just invested $1 million. And I'm just trying to think, did he go long? Yeah, I think he leveraged 10 minutes, but I think he leveraged it by 10. I'm not sure, but there's so much money already going into it. All right. People are, they're getting in, they're having meetings, y'all. So just be on the lookout, you know what I'm saying? Because if these things that I just mentioned, and most of these things could happen in the next month or two, by Thanksgiving, it could. I'm not saying it will it is a different story, but technically it could, you know what I mean? So we're on the lookout for that, but we're seeing hundreds of millions of dollars. Whales are buying it. The big dogs are buying it. One with 200 million, 600 million, so there's $1 billion that is going to come off the exchange. That's going to come off the exchange. I mean, so even those little small things can move the price, but I'm telling you, once the institutions get in and the Clarity Act goes and stuff, it's going to be, I think it's already outpacing before, when Bitcoin, right before Bitcoin had its ETFs. Anyway, I'm very conservative, y'all. I just needed to get over $4.50 for right now, because that's a strong psychological, like, breakout in a sense. And then, next go from, between $5 and $8. Now, remember, people will be taking profits along the way. And then maybe even, between $20 and $30, if this, the outcome is what it needs to be. You know what I mean? If all of these things happen kind of in the same period, I think it'll really push for a bullish run. And again, the other price points, the higher price points, it's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. Okay. I am staying conservative. I do have, I'm just going to let the utility speak for itself. I just wanted to share that. Time will tell. I'm very patient. I've been patient. And that's why I didn't do anything when it was when the crypto market was crashing. I'm like, y'all not going to, y'all ain't getting me out of my stuff. Not this time and not next time. All right. So, yeah. So the truth is, hey, trends go up and down, but utility stays. And that's why I'm long XRP. And these are the things and the events that I am looking for. Okay. Now, if you want to go a little bit deeper, of how I manage risk, how I think like an investor, and, go into a little bit more detail and have those private streamlines, behind the scenes Q&A and strategy breakdowns, make sure you join the membership. All you do is hit the join button. It's only $3.99 a month. For Android users, it's less than that. So if you want a little bit deeper, go ahead and press that join button and join. And then I'll be doing a private live stream, and you will also get access to all the private live streams that the public will not get access to. And so I'll be doing another one on Monday for that. And if you want the full coaching experience, the mindset, the health, the wealth, the complete system for building financial freedom, click the link in the description to join our 90-day health and wealth challenge. And if you do want 101, there's a link also there for that. A lot of people have been asking about it. This is the year to really start building strategy. Okay. The people who are prepared will own the next wealth transfer. And a lot of people are missing out on this. And so let me go through some of the comments. Chainlink, already Chainlink. I love Chainlink. It's already used by the government. I love Chainlink. You know what I'm saying? And I buy Chainlink every time it dips. I'm team Chainlink. My thing is, I like all of it. I like all of it. I'm not this or that. I'm this and that. I'm Ethereum and Bitcoin. I'm Chainlink and XRP. I like XRP and Chainlink. Okay. I love XLM as well. Again, I'm not telling you what to buy, hold, or sell. Anything I say is for educational purposes only. I'm just telling you what I'm doing and what I'm looking for. And you can do your due diligence, go and look and study these things out and see what's going on with XRP. But I believe that the powers that be already know what it is. And if you know, you know. Okay. So, and that doesn't mean, again, we couldn't see prices fluctuate or whatever that may be. Again, these are things that's going to come to pass. And it's just a matter of when. There's been a lot of delays. And I'm not telling you that there ain't going to be no delays. I don't have a magic wand to figure this stuff out. But I do know when these things happen, it will, cause some movement. Okay. People so focused on one project, be diverse. I'm very diverse. And I'm not going all in on, crypto and stuff. Yeah, I think 99% of crypto. I think most of crypto. You got to choose your crypto very carefully. That's a good point. 202D. He said 99% of all crypto will disappear within the next 10 years. So choose your crypto carefully. I'm 100% XRP. Yeah, like most of this stuff ain't gonna stick around, y'all. I'm just letting y'all know. Some people making money off of it, but you better choose very carefully of what the future looks like. And so for me, I'm in it team long. You know what I mean? So it don't bother me when it go up and down and all the market manipulation and all of that happen. It doesn't bother me because I've always been team long and I've always had my game plan. And if you have your game plan, you're not going to be caught off guard. And I have patience because wealth building is about patience. It's about taking money from the impatient to the patient. All right. So be patient. Once regulation hits, a lot of crypto will be gone. Yeah. So yeah, it's the truth. So you got to choose well. You got to choose and do your research. That's why I'm here explaining to you. I'm not just saying, okay, I'm in XRP. I'm explaining why. Okay, utility for the win. I love it. I'm explaining why. I'm explaining what I'm looking for. I even explain what price points I'm getting it at. I'm not so into one thing because I love diversity. I mean, silver and gold has had a great run. I'm so happy that I'm invested in that, and the thing is that like once you have your game plan together, then you don't have to be into this like FOMO, fear of missing out kind of thing. I know some people are, and I can guarantee you now, when XRP starts to move back up, I bet you more people are going to get it. I bet you more people going to get it. More retailers are going to get it than when it was dropping down, to $1.50. And when it was crashing, everybody was scared then. So yeah. And again, I have my price points. I'm not so all in this that, I'm buying it at the top for what? I've been getting it at 30 cents. Like I'm gonna wait for it to come to me. I'm very patient. And guess what? I still got buy orders under $2 and that ain't gonna change. You know what I'm saying? So I still got my buy orders under there. I'm sticking to my game plan, but you got to have yours. Okay. You got to have your game plan together. Been holding since 2017. Not worried. I know what I hold. Yep. You got to, that's why I say, if you know, 202. Thank you so much. You be spitting facts. I love it. I love it. I got ZBAC at, man, you got it at very, very cheap. Okay. 0.0007. So yeah, let's do our homework. Let's know what we own. I'm telling you, I gave the scenario just yesterday: buy low and sell high. Somebody said, let the market come to you. That's what I always do. I see you gonna come to me. I got my limit orders. I got my alarms, little, set when things trigger and all of that. I'm not chasing all of these things at highs, because one thing I've learned with being patient with the market is that it go up and it come back. Even when you don't think it's gonna come back, it come back. Okay, it do. And even if it's along the way, whatever, you miss this price, but you can still get things at a good price if you just be patient. Just be patient. I've seen it way too many times. Okay, let me set the monthly low and thinking that it's going to run off, and then boom, here come a crash. Boom, here comes a pullback. Boom. And it's like, it always happens. It's just an emotional, building wealth is very much so emotional and mental. And so we got to like tame that and everything. We got to be Very patient. It's from the impatient to the patient. And so y'all be patient. The plays are going to come to you. And I'm not saying that you can't buy certain things. On top, like Palantir, I'm sure, oh, it reached, $40. That's the highest point it's reached. But then it reached $80. So people who was buying it at 40, you got to have your game plan. Am I doing a swing trade? Am I trying to make money off of this? Because I don't want to buy high and then sell low. Or am I holding this for long term? Am I holding this for my children? Am I holding this for retirement? You know what I mean? That makes the difference of your buy points. Okay. Because honestly, when you DCA, if you buying something every day, like I do with Microsoft, I'm buying it when it's high. I'm buying it when it's low. I'm buying it when it's got a correction. I'm buying it when it reaches an all-time high. I'm buying it. You know what I mean? Because I'm long. I'm team long. So with some certain solid companies. All right. So, but be careful because when you make investments, you want to make wise decisions. And then the last thing I'll say is I'll repeat something that I said in my live yesterday, which is that, some people they're waiting and then they just get frustrated and they give up and then they sell because they don't understand that when you play in the patience game, it's like everything is like boring until it's not, until it just blow up. And if you do the math and you multiply 1 penny and you double it every single day, you reach $10 million by day 30. And you don't even think you're going to reach $10 million by day 30 because everything moving so slow. By day 15, you ain't even at $400. You only at like 3 something, right? And then all of a sudden in them last few days, and like, I don't even think you hit $1 million till you get to day 27 or something like that. And then 3 days later, you at 10 million. So it's like when things pop, it pop. And then people be like, oh, what happened? Where you come from? Where somebody get famous, somebody get noticed, or influencer grow. They've been doing this for a long time. They just been playing the patient game. They've been already, they content creators. They done put out hundreds of, tens of thousands of videos. Now you see them. You know what I'm saying? This person become a multi-billionaire. Now you see, because they've been slowly just building and just silently and just being patient while everybody else in and out and all in this hype and all of this other stuff. And then boom, the explosion just happens at the end. And when it happens, right? What do you think about the guy that lost $3 million worth of XRP from his cold wallet? I heard, and I saw his story, and oh my goodness, I was just like, whoa. He said he don't even know how he lost it because he said that, he thought it was in a cold wallet or whatever. This is what I can say. And I actually did a video on this that I'll release it probably next week or Monday. I did a video to give people the safety nets of what they need to do with their coins. And don't ever buy a cold wallet. Some people buy cold wallets off of Amazon and like third party websites and stuff like that, like because they think, oh, Amazon's safe or whatever. If you buy a cold wallet to store your crypto, make sure it's if it's Ledger, ledger.com. If it's Tangem, tangem.com. Go to their website. Don't ever buy your stuff on like a off website, because you don't know what you're really buying when it's on when you're doing it through a third party. That's one thing I would say. But I don't know how to, you know what I mean? Maybe he clicked on something and didn't know, or I don't know, but it's scary. Okay. And so, some people have it in custodial and some people are doing it, you know what I'm saying, through, iTrust and just different places. And I'll be doing some of that as well. But, and, they're putting it, of course, in a trust. So there's some things that you got to do. I can't talk about this right now. I do in my coaching program, but I feel really bad, for the guy who lost the $3 million. Somebody lost $3 million worth of XRP. Somebody just completely took it from him. He just woke up and it was gone. And man, he's so positive about it. He's like, we're going to build it back up, and I just feel really bad that happened to him. I know there's teams that can try to go back and get your stolen cryptocurrency, and sometimes they're successful and sometimes they're not. But I went ahead and followed him on this video to give him subscribers. Hopefully he can monetize, his story, make a little extra income, do some more investments, so that was my way of trying to help out as much as possible. You know what I mean? So, I'll be liking his videos and just like helping with that and stuff. Somebody said, I love the analogy. I live by the compounding principle. Absolutely. 10 years of overnight success. Absolutely. That's what happens. Dollar cost average, bad stewardship. Somebody said bad stewardship. I didn't know if they were talking about bad stewardship from the guy whose money got stolen. I don't know if it was bad stewardship, if that was for him, but he got his money stolen from. And people be buying cold wallets from Amazon. Yeah. Derek said that. Yeah, and don't do that. Don't do that, everybody. Do not do that. He probably wasn't checking it often. I don't know. It doesn't sound like he's that kind of guy. You know what I mean? I don't know. But yeah. Yeah, you want to check it. You want to make sure, you want to have there's some protocols you can take in place. Like I said, I did a video specifically on that, how to be more safe. And then one last thing I'll tell you guys is you can split it up. You know what I mean? You can split up your crypto if you just feel like, okay, I don't want to have it all in one place. You can put it on, different cold wallets. You know what I mean? Some people feel just safer doing it that way. But yeah, I don't know. He could have clicked, like I said, a link that on his, I don't know. You know what I mean? He don't know. So hopefully he'll share the story if he finds out anything else. But like I said, you can also put it on an institutional grade custody, like Caleb and Brown. But they will take a percentage of your sales, but they'll be, the thing is, you may need to do that because at some point, I don't know if you can be on the exchange and buy them at high prices. If it goes to a certain limit, I don't know if you're going to get those orders through. And so you may need to have a brokerage kind of do that for you, but they will take like 1% of the sale and stuff like that. So somebody said, yes, bad stewardship from him. I don't know. Like, some people get scammed. Bad stewardship is you not mismanaging that. I don't know if that's the proper word for it. That's you mismanaging your money. You know what I'm saying? Bad stewardship is like I'm spending. I don't think he did that. He did store his money. Obviously, if he gained that much, he was working and then he put his user error and he put his money away for an asset. Bad stewardship is like, you mismanaging your money. You know what I mean? So this is a hiccup, and there's a lot of criminals out here. There's a lot of people taking your stuff and scamming you and doing things and tricking you out of stuff. Now, if he did click something or whatever, then maybe naive. I don't know. I don't want to say anything negative about him because honestly, I don't ever want to be in that situation. And if I'm ever in that situation, I don't want nobody to say I was a bad stewardship of my stuff. If I get in that situation, somebody really scammed me out of something and the scam intellectual capacity has just went through the roof, obviously, or something. I don't know. But I don't want to be in that situation. I don't want to judge that situation. And I don't want to have to be the person to like have to deal with that. So I'm going to give him grace and be kind to him because I can only imagine. That's all I can say. All right. So anyway, I'm going to he clicked on something. Yeah, somebody said no, he probably clicked on something he shouldn't have and got hacked. Yeah, I mean, that's not bad stewardship. I think that's a different terminology. I don't know. Everybody's got their own opinion, but that's just me. You know what I'm saying? Everybody free to have their own opinion. So and I don't think anybody should have bad stewardship, but I think people should be safe. And so that's what I'm expressing. Be safe. And there are some things that you can do. Again, I got a video coming out on that. And most of the time, yeah. Beware before I leave out. Oh, like and subscribe. I didn't even tell you that. Please like and subscribe. So I got a couple of hundred people on here. So hopefully I have at least 200 likes. So everybody just take a moment and like it because it just helps me in the algorithm, and it helps YouTube get my video out to more people. And I would really appreciate that. That's all I ask. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe and turn on your notifications. So yeah, scammers are also in the chat. So do not click on any links on my page or anything either. I've seen people have pictures of me and they're telling people to call my WhatsApp and stuff like that. And it's not me. So you know what I'm saying? Like when you trust somebody and then you think it's that person and then you click on it, they get you. But I would never tell you to send me no links or nothing. Send me no crypto. I'm not telling you to call me or anything like that. All my links are in my description. And that's how you know it's safe because only I can put links in the description. Now, when they come on these chats doing that, be very careful. That is not me, even if it got my picture on there or whatever. And just be careful in anybody's, YouTube comments because they be on there like, oh, I just made $50,000. And it's like, oh, what's this person's name? Oh, you can find her here on WhatsApp. Her name is Mary this. And, it's all a scam, so be very, very careful and don't click on nothing crazy. I had a situation where someone took one of my emails and tried to reset my password on one of my wallets, move everything out real quick. Absolutely. Yes, with the quickness. Just be careful where you put your seed words, all of that. Yeah. Arculus, Ledger, Darnell said, Trezor, Tandem, decent, good cold wallets. Yes. And I have 10, is it Tandem or Tangem? I think you spelled that wrong. Tangem. I just want to make sure it isn't something else called Tandem. But I have a few different ones that I like. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So just be very careful, and they all work very differently. All right. Beware, somebody said, of Ledger hardware wallets. The Ledger network stole cross assets from my wallet. Whoa. Okay. Thanks for sharing that. Thanks for sharing that. We love to hear your stories. Let us know your stories. Let us know what cryptos you like best. Somebody asked me about HBAR. I love HBAR. I like HBAR a whole lot. And I think it's going to do really well. All right. I use a bio wallet. Awesome. Yeah. Share your crypto. What's your favorite crypto? Give me your top 3 favorite cryptos. Right. And then, oh, okay. Darnell said you right. Yeah. Tangem. Okay. I was just making sure, because I was like, hey, maybe it's another one out. Give me your top 3 cryptos. Right. And I look through the comments, even if I jump off, I do go back and look through the comments. And then if there's anything that you want me to talk about, please put it in the comments, because I do look at the comments. Somebody said XRP. Yeah, team XRP. Love it, love it, love it. And I'll be back on again. If you haven't joined the membership, go ahead and do that. In the description, the links are in the description for the 90-day challenge. And if you want to book a one-on-one, that is also there. And please, on your way out, do me that favor and hit that like button for me. I appreciate it so much. Top 3: XRP, XLM, and ETH. I love it. ETH, Solana, XRP. Somebody said XRP, ZBIC. I always say that wrong. XLM, HBAR. Quant. Yep. QNT. Yep. Akash, Tayo. Yeah, I love Tayo. I ain't gonna say what I was gonna say, but I love Tayo. When everything else was dumping, Tayo was going. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right. Tayo, whatever. I had it, and I looked at my portfolio. I'm like, this is up, man. This going up when everything else going down. Bitcoin, XLM, XRP, Solana, Doge, love it. XRP and HBAR, love it. Ando, USDY, and Solana, Flare. Yeah. I just got some Flare yesterday too. And it's real affordable, nothing big, but Flare, ticker symbol for that is FLR, if anybody's interested in that. XRP, HBAR, Phoenix, PHNIX. I'm reading that too, so people can hear me. So yeah. All right. He said when he added the Lipple app to his app, it automatically. Okay. So this is the guy who got the money stole. Let me put this on here real quick. He said when he added the Lipple app to his iPad, it automatically turned his cold wallet into a hot wallet, and then incident prevented that from happening to anyone. Okay. I just want to put that there just because we got to spread the news and make sure everybody is safe. Keep your stuff as safe as possible. Oh, thank you so much. I'm gonna put your say you are my favorite personality. I appreciate that. That's so sweet. That's so sweet. I receive all the love. All right. I'll be back on. Again, hit that like button for me and subscribe if you haven't already. Put in the comments, again, what is your favorite top 3 cryptocurrencies? I'm going to go back and look at it. And if there's anything that you want me to talk about, I am here for you. I appreciate you all for giving me all the love and for being here on the weekend, on a Saturday, to hang out with me. I like Tangem travel. I do have Tangem as one of my cold wallets. I have a few. But I like Tangem. All right. Polkadot is a sleeping giant. It may be, I have a little bit, so most of it. I don't hold a huge position. I have a little bit, but I don't hold a huge position in it as much right now. I did have it. What's the word I'm looking for? Making, I had it on, I didn't have it on the actual, exchange, but I had it in storage, like making money, making a percentage. Okay. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. I'm rushing now because I got somewhere to go. All right. Thank you guys. I love you guys. And I'll be back on soon. All right. Bye-bye.